66 here. Today I want to tell you a little story why I have a 30-06. Now, first of all, to preface this story, I never ever wanted a 30-06. I didn't want nothing to do with 30-06. Didn't need one, didn't matter. You know what? I got a 7mm, I got a 300 Win Mag. It's all I need, right? But one day we're driving up in Montana, and my wife stops in this little like convenience store gas station. She's gonna get gas, and I'm like, are you kidding me? Come on, we don't need gas. We can make it up here to the next town. I always stop up here in the next town anyway. She's like, no, I like to stop in this town. This town, you know, it's a really nice gas station. Go to the bathroom, of course, you know, woman. But anyway, I'm like, oh, for Pete's sakes, you know, I'm just gonna sit in the car. So I'm sitting there, and I think, well, you know what, since we're here, I might as well go in and go to the bathroom. So go walking into this convenience store, walk back to the back because that's where the bathroom's at back there. And as I get back there, I look up, and in the corner, it's like, whoa! I can't believe my eyes. Dudes, there is this huge wall of nothing but guns. I mean, it's like, what? Are you kidding me? I just died and went to heaven, right? So I go back there, and I'm looking at all these guns they have, and I'm like, man, this place is just so cool, right? So let me show you this. Sitting there in their rack, they've got this. And it's sitting in the rack, you know, like that. And I look at it, and I'm like, well, you know, that's kind of different, kind of cool looking. It's a lot of money, you know. Whew, $1,600. Anyway, so she comes out, she pays for the gas, and then we drive on up the road, you know, up into northern Montana. Here we go about, I don't know, maybe 6 months goes by. We go back into Montana again, and we stop at this same gas station convenience store again. And of course I'm going to go in to check out the guns, and I'm looking, and there on the wall, you know, like this, it sits. That same gun is still there. Watch this. So we're there, and there is this, and it's sitting up there on the wall, just hanging there. They actually have two of them. Okay, you guys check this out. And I'm like, oh man, no way. I can't believe it's still there. Okay, it's been 2 years. I mean 2 years, 6 months. 6 months. And it's still there. Okay. So I'm standing there behind the counter, and I'm looking at this gun hanging up on the wall like this. And I'm thinking about it, and I'm like, oh my gosh, oh my gosh. They have two of those maple wood guns like that. So I asked the dude, I'm like, hey, you know, what caliber are those guns in? He said, well, this one is in a 30-06. And this other one is in the 300 Win Mag. And I'm like, you know what? I've already got a 300 Win Mag. There's my out. I don't want a 30-06. And I've already got a 300 Win Mag. So I don't have to spend $1,600 on this gun. I'm good. I'm out. So we leave. We drive up to northern Montana again. And I love Montana, right? So we're up there in the hotel in northern Montana, and I'm thinking, all night long I'm thinking about this gun. I'm like, oh my gosh, I can't get it out of my mind. I'm looking it up on my phone, I'm looking at pictures of it on the phone, everything you can imagine. And So I wake up in the morning and I'm talking to my wife about it, and she's like, you remember that one gun that you wanted to buy a couple years ago? We were up in, I believe it was Kalispell, went into this pawn shop. I found a Colt, had a 10-inch barrel on it. It was a Colt 45 from 1917. It had ivory handles. It was so cool. And I'm like, oh yeah, you know, it's $500. That's a lot of money. So we left, and I got halfway out of Kalispell, and I'm thinking, man, maybe I should have bought that gun. We should get it. And my wife's like, we can go back. We can drive back and get it. And I'm like, no, you know, we'll be coming up here next year. I'll get it when we come up next year. Of course, we come up next year, and it's gone. And so she reminds me, she's like, remember that gun that you really wanted to buy and you didn't buy and then it was gone? She says, maybe you better buy that gun or it'll be gone. So I'm like, yeah, you're right. I guess I better. So when we go back home, we stop into that little town, stop into that little convenience store, and I walk in, and they have still both guns, the 300 Win Mag and the 30-06. I'm like, well, you know, I don't really want a 30-06. And this is during the pandemic, and you cannot find 30-06 bullets anywhere, nowhere. I had to put out a thing on Facebook and ask friends, does anybody have some 30-06 bullets? I want to shoot this gun. I want to just shoot it. It's my new gun. 2 bullets will be fine. Had a friend give me some bullets so I could shoot. It was awesome. Now you can find 30-06 everywhere, but then you couldn't. And I'm just like, I got this beautiful gun, I can't shoot it. But I went in, I bought the gun, and here we go. And I'm just like, oh, this gun is so beautiful. So beautiful, I love this gun. And yeah, it was $1,600. That's kind of a price, but it is gorgeous. Look at that thing, absolutely gorgeous. Look at that tiger eye wood on that thing. Anyway, so I bought this gun, and we go back to Montana again, because I go up there 3-4 times a year every year. And I go into that little gun store, and I go back there to look, and this is in the springtime now, so it's been another probably 3 or 4 months. Guess what? The 300 Win Mag, just like this, is gone. Somebody bought it. And the 300 Win Mag was $1,800, so it was a little bit more expensive than the 30-06. But I now have a 30-06. I'm actually happy that I have a 30-06. This gun is absolutely beautiful. It shoots very, very good. It is the Winchester Model 70, and it is in a quadruple grade A maple. It's got the jewel bolt right in here. You guys can see that or not. My finger in the way. Anyway, this thing, I'm telling you what, dudes, gorgeous, gorgeous gun. Now the scope that I have on the top of this, I went back up into Montana, and I had this special scope in mind that I wanted to put on it. Could not find the scope anywhere in Idaho. Couldn't find a scope in around Salt Lake area, Utah. Looked online, every place said they were sold out of this scope. So we go to this place in Montana, it's called Ennis. We're like, hey, let's, cruise over to Ennis, Montana. We've never been there, let's go check it out. I walk into this sporting goods store, not thinking there's going to be much. And it's another one of those, woo! It's unbelievable. The place is huge, huge. And they have got hundreds and hundreds of guns everywhere in there. And I'm looking at scopes, and there is the scope that I wanted. And I'm like, I can't believe it. Well, I'll find it somewhere. Well, guess what? I didn't find it anywhere. So I'm home, probably, 300 miles away from Ennis, Montana. and I call them up and I'm like, hey, do you guys still have that blah 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 scope? It's a Leupold. And they're like, yeah, we have it. I'm like, okay, I want to buy it, but I live here in Idaho and I want to, put it on layaway so I can come up later and get it. So okay, so I give them my credit card information over the phone. They put the scope on layaway. Months goes by because, it's like winter time and we're busy. So I go up there when we get a chance, and you got 3 months on layaway. So I go up there 3 months later, take my gun. I'm like, okay, I want to put that scope on this gun. The dude's like, yeah, no problem. So they slap this baby on there, and I come home with the most gorgeous gun that I have ever seen. And I'm telling you what, this thing shoots good. It's a good shooting gun. I'm happy I got it. Even though I never wanted an .06, I have got an .06. It's beautiful. Don't know that I will ever hunt with it, other than I do want to take an antelope with this gun. So maybe one day I'll go antelope hunting. I think that would be really cool. And that's the story of how I got a 30-06. You guys have a fantastic day. We'll see you next time.